now known Drew Yari Experience. That's from Mish. Mish wants it to be called the Experience. So hey, Mish owns the show, so we'll call it whatever whatever Mish wants. But the Drew Yari Experience. I'm your host Drew, and with me as always. All right, how's your day going, brother? Sir, and we got some topics on hand. Do you want to do something different with the format? I know we usually talk about news and then we review shows. You want to maybe start with the shows first and then news? All righty then. So we'll start with the shows. SmackDown, which was last Friday on June the 2nd, celebrating 100, or not 100, Jesus Christ, 1,000 days of Roman Reigns as champion, Universal Champion. There's a nice package, showing Roman Reigns passing each record. It's funny, it showed CM Punk's reign, which which is like interesting. I know it's one of those things that they couldn't avoid, but it's like it's interesting now that they showed a CM Punk graphic on WWE TV. Not that it means anything. I mean, it could, but it's just funny. But showing everyone that he's passed now at 1,000 days as a Universal Champion. We'll get to the ending segment a little later. But as far as Roman Reigns as 1,000 days as champion, I talked about it. Um, where I view him as far as like the echelon of like the top guys in wrestling, not just champions. How do you view Roman Reigns? Like, where would you put him on your list as far as like top 5, top 10, top whatever, as far as like the the guys in wrestling, the top guys in wrestling? All right, right, has the music to prove it. Yeah, the Julian Cannon from Wrestling Court calls it, final boss music whenever he comes out. Um, I mean, I would definitely put him on a top 10. He at this point he's made the title and he doesn't really need the title anymore. Like the title is just a prop to him now. So what happened? Well, well, we'll say we'll give that to the end of the show, or we can like we can like knock it out of the park right now, or we can just save it for later. All right, yeah, fuck it. Well, we'll talk about the big parts and we'll talk about the rest of the show afterwards. So, end of the show, yeah, Triple H come out and talk about Roman, talk about how amazing he is, and blah blah blah. Roman comes out, and then Triple H tells him we got a new title for you, which is the exact same title as, or exact same looking title as the Universal Championship, the WWE Championship, but with a different paint job, as I put it. Not the new World Heavyweight Championship, which is a take from the big gold belt. Not even the new Intercontinental Championship, which I'm personally not crazy about, but at least it's new, or at least it's like unique looking. No, it's basically the same championship with a different paint job. So, I mean, I was expecting maybe like a take off of the big gold belt at least, or not the big gold belt, the Winged Eagle Championship, but they just gave him the same fucking belt. But I mean, yeah, lazy booking, as Cornette says, lazy booking. Someone post a picture of it because I'm blanking on it right now. I mean, I can't tell if that was a Triple H thing or like a Vince thing because yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, like, okay, Kyle posted it. I mean, yeah, that's a nice looking title, but it's just like K I don't like the whole idea of it's just a championship with the big ass logo in the middle and nothing else. I mean, I liked the first undisputed title. I like that belt, and before that, there was the Attitude Era belt, and that was awesome, and then the Wing Eagle belt, that was awesome. Or I don't know, why not go back to the original WWE title or WWF title, I mean. Right. Right, it's like with the women's belts. They're basically the same shit, but with different straps and different coloring. It's like, you're supposed to be on Raw, you're supposed to be on SmackDown, have a belt that looks different. And if you want to add some color in, fine. But it's like, just change the fucking belts already. Especially the women's belts, especially the tag belts. We need new shit. And nah, no, whatever. They just better be fucking different. If I see two belts that just have a giant fucking logo in the middle, I'm gonna be pissed. Like, come on. But anyways, the end of the show, you had Roman come out and he's about to speak, and the Usos come out and basically talk a little shit and say, "You haven't been a good brother. I'm here to protect my brother, especially Solo." Solo tells Roman, "I acknowledge you, my tribal chief, but those are my brothers." So he sides with his brothers for the time being, and then eventually he turns on Jay and spikes him. As they're walking away, Paul Heyman asks Roman, "What are we gonna do about Jay?" And then Roman says he'll do what he always does and fall in line. Because earlier, I forgot to mention in the segment, he's telling Jay super kick him. What did I stutter? Super kick him. Like basically, Roman is the manipulative, abusive, boyfriend in the story, and Jay is the one trying to find the good in him, but he's scared. So this Friday, we'll get to Raw. Paul Heyman announced on Raw that Jay Uso has a big decision to make on SmackDown. So once again, this episode of SmackDown this Friday is going to be must watch. But overall, what'd you think of the segment? Oh yeah. Right. Mhm. So the rumor for Money in the Bank is that I don't know if it'll be the main event. It probably will be, but the rumor match is the right. Yeah, the Usos versus Roman and Solo. Um, if that's the case, like, what do you do for SummerSlam? Do you do Cody versus Roman or again, or do you do maybe like Roman versus Jay or Roman versus Jimmy? That's a good question because like it's funny because I right, right, right. Right. It's funny because, like I was saying, like I thought I had it all figured out, but I think from the way it looks, especially now that you got this really compelling storyline with Jimmy now that you says Jimmy's story, and eventually Jay's gonna pop in again. I think they're gonna do. I think they are gonna wait until Mania, next year to have Cody versus Roman, being that it's the 40th anniversary, and like they really put a lot of emphasis on Rocky in the promo, because Rocky's from Philly. Um, and like Cody going into the Rumble at like number one and winning. Why not? Well, it's one of those things of like they're gonna want to do it because they'll cement him in with like nobody's ever won back to back Rumbles since Austin and Shawn Michaels and blah blah blah. Right. Well, no. Well, here's how I view it. So, like from the company perspective, it's like because like in the Rumble this year, he came in at 30 and was pretty much like handling the Rumble. My whole thing was I thought they were gonna have him come in at least like maybe one or maybe like six or seven. So, and a lot of Cody and Roman's like storylines heading into that eventual rematch is that Roman's gonna lose everything, and that's where Cody comes in because Cody has to struggle more to get back to that main event spot at Mania. So by the time it happens, Cody can be like, "Remember what I told you last year? Well, it happened." So, eh, I honestly think so because like he still comes out to big reactions. They're pushing him. They're carefully pushing him. I mean, regardless of what how we feel about the Brock thing, I mean, they're still making him look like a star. So it just all comes down to who are you going to put in front of Cody for the time being? Who are you going to put in front of Roman? Even though Roman works half schedules, so for Cody, it's like the rumor is that him and Brock's third match is going to be at SummerSlam. It's going to be a dog color match. Um, okay, never mind. Oh, never mind then. Which that would have been fucking awesome though. But anyways, um, and then afterwards, seeing what happened on Monday, maybe you can have him feud with Dominic. Maybe you can have him feud with Damian Priest, which that'd be a pretty cool match. Um, you just keep feeding him opponents, and then keep them busy until Mania. And Roman, again, like I said, is working a half schedule. I personally do. I don't know. I do personally. It just all matters how they keep pushing them and how they make them stay fresh. And it's also one of the I right. No, man. No, I hear you. And also he's selling, the arm injury. So, oh Jesus Christ. I don't know. I think they've been treating him well as a star and making sure he stays fresh as a star because I mean we all know with people that they push in the past, whether they kept pushing them down people's throats, eventually you're going to hear those boos. Um, so I don't know. I personally think Cody's going to be fine where he's at come next year if they do it. That's a big if. But the rest of SmackDown, the opening match was a six-man tag with the Brawling Brutes versus Theory, Austin Theory, and Pretty Deadly. Theory and Deadly won. Good match. I mean, they seem to really like Pretty Deadly because they're giving them these big spots. Because the main roster is about characters, and Vince loves characters. Everybody else loves characters. They fit. And another thing is they can also work. So I mean, and they've grown on me because before I wasn't too nuts about them. Now I like them. They're actually kind of funny. Right. Yes, boy. Next match was the OC versus Hit Row. OC won, after which AJ hit a phenomenal forearm on who was he? Francis, whatever the fuck his name was. Yeah, whatever. It was a match and it happened. And why did the screen freeze? Give me 1 second. What the hell? Okay, here we go. I'm back. I'm looking at the results. Afterwards, you had the Grayson Waller effect with Asuka, and a bunch of other women came out who I'm assuming are going to be in the Money in the Bank. I kind of missed this because we were out to eat, so I was watching a little bit of SmackDown as much as I could on my phone. So um, I wasn't really paying attention to this segment. So, what'd you think about the segment if you watched it? All right, all right. Next is you had a Money in the Bank qualifying match: Zelina Vega versus Lacey Evans. Zelina wins. Now she's in Money in the Bank. Good. Right. Lacey Evans coming out to, I guess she looks like Sergeant Slaughter now, which Sergeant Slaughter's daughter did not like that at all. So I don't know. They've given this woman so many gimmicks to the point where it's like, who is this bitch supposed to be? I mean, the Southern Belle gimmick was stupid, but it at least got her over. Yeah, I mean, right? Just I don't know the whole I'm gonna dress like a Southern plantation owner's wife is just weird. But I don't know. It at least was over, and she main evented a pay per view. So I don't know. Next is I thought it was a pretty good. I actually thought it was a match of the night. Money in the Bank qualifier: Montez Ford versus LA Knight. Really good back and forth action with these two. These two have really good chemistry. Knight more of the kind of like brawler. Is that the best way to put it? He's like a brawler, ground and pound type of wrestler. Um, I guess a traditional wrestler. Doesn't do anything fancy. He just works, but his gimmick gets him over. And you had Ford, who was just all energy, and they had a really good match. And LA Knight wins like a heel should, and now he's in Money in the Bank, which I'm assuming they're going to do something for Ford where it's like, we're going to have a battle royal with all the losers who didn't get in their qualifiers, and Ford wins. But whatever. But what'd you think about the match? All right, that was SmackDown. Decent show overall, but I mean the last segment was really the only thing that mattered about the show, other than LA Knight versus Ford. Yes, SmackDown is usually it's usually the top tier show. It's usually the show to watch. Got a 2.5 in the ratings, so good for SmackDown. Good on them. So Monday Night Raw. The show opens up with Seth Rollins coming out to address the crowd about the main event for the show, which was an open challenge, and Damian Priest accepted. So it'll be Damian Priest versus Rollins. Judgment Day. Hmm. Yeah, me too. Ha- Actually, have like some a news story about that. So Fightful talked about Vince being at the show. So Vince McMahon appeared at the show at 6 p.m. Eastern. People noticed the room being prepared for somebody. As it happens, it was for the executive chairman himself. Hartford is roughly 80 minutes because they're in Hartford, so go figure. Is only 80 miles from WWE headquarters in Stanford, so it's not terribly surprising that Vince was there. Um, Vince was in the gorilla position Monday night, just as he was during WrestleMania weekend. But the word backstage is that the operation of Raw on June 5th was nothing close to the chaos that happened on the infamous Monday after Mania, which was said to have sunk morale. However, Fightful did note that McMahon continues to call in changes, leading to some late rundowns or segments being outright cut. All the while, internal memos indicated that Monday Night's Raw was the highest ever grossing weekly show in Hartford market for WWE, continuing its recent trend of breaking such records. I have another story right here. Let me pull it up real quick. Backstage update on Vince's involvement with WWE Raw and talent reactions. I'm sorry. Um, Vince McMahon did not run things from gorilla position, contrary to other reports that resurfaced last night. Instead, McMahon reworked quote unquote elements of the show, changing the order in segments to greater fit his vision. Previously, his changes had been last minute, which has created a frantic atmosphere, but the situation was not believed to be overly stressful this week. There reportedly wasn't much resentment or anger about the situation regarding him being there after everything that has happened. One talent claimed that the band-aid has already been ripped off in regards to McMahon, and that there is a general understanding and belief that he is back on the throne in charge of things, even when he isn't around on a weekly basis, as has been the case since he returned to WWE in official capacity. It is known by everyone backstage that he is the one in charge, and whatever he wants to happen will happen. The executive chairman has been making tweaks to the show regularly since April, although that has been done remotely. And uh, yeah, that's really about it. So that was Fightful Select's news bit for the supposed news. But so yeah, so the show opened up with Seth Rollins coming out talking about the match. Right. Yeah. Right. Um. Yeah, because this show was kind of like the pacing was weird, but it was still an enjoyable Raw. And I mean, but yes, Damian Priest comes out with Finn, and then Seth kind of goats Damian into like, "Hey, why don't you fight me without your buddies?" And then Damian says, "I can win without the Judgment Day." And then Finn gives him that look, like what the fuck? So that I guess sets up a problem with the Judgment Day, which will Oh yeah, definitely. It's weird because you see a lot of baby faces that get over as a baby face, but you notice as soon as they become a heel, that's when they become more over with the crowd because people they want to see more of an edge to a character. And when Seth was being, or not Seth, Damien was being, what they call him, the Archer, the something Archer. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, he was cool and it was awesome, but it's just like you don't really have a lot of depth to your character other than you're a kick ass, you're an ass kicker, and you have like cool moves, you have a cool entrance. Like you need more personality. And ever since he joined Judgment Day, he's had more personality. He looks more comfortable out there. So, I mean, granted, he's also like 40. So if you're gonna push him like right now, kind of like with LA Knight. So the sky's the limit for Damien. Like the guy looks like a star, he talks like a star, and he walks like a star. So I'm hoping for good things, nothing but good things. Um, First match of the night was was a Money in the Bank's qualifier for the women. You had Becky Lynch versus Sonya Deville. Becky won. Granted, there was, I guess, some interference, but not really, by Trish Stratus and Zoe Stark. It was it was a match. It happened. I mean, it wasn't perfect. I honestly thought for a second I thought like Trish and Zoe were going to interfere and cost her the match, but they want the women's Money in the Bank match to have bigger stars, I guess, but which I agree with. It's a business thing. I wholeheartedly agree with, but we'll see. But what'd you think about the match? All right. Next, you had a match that wasn't even televised, or I mean, not televised, but promoted. It was based off of a segment. So Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are still feuding with Imperium, and then angry Kevin Owens, as I call him. I love angry Kevin Owens. It's funny, and Gunther again, like I think we talked about it last week or the week before. Gunther is showing more personality since going to Raw. Like he's talking more, and it works because like he doesn't need to do the yelly big guy thing. He talks really calmly and he talks very eloquently. You can picture him having like a glass of wine and just you know telling you how he feels about you and how he's going to kill you. And then he's telling Kevin Owens, you need to get your anger in order. I can show you. And then Kevin's just like, why are you talking to me like that? Ah! Let's have a match. You and me now. And he's just like walking really fast to the ring. So and that comes back to what you were saying about Raw earlier is that Vince switched a lot of things around. This obviously wasn't a match that was planned, or maybe it was, I don't know. But we got Gunther and Kevin Owens next. So talk about the match real quick. I'm gonna use the restroom. Um, I arrived moments ago. Um, yeah, Miami and Denver. That's tough because like I was gonna say Denver because I think Denver they're not one of those teams that goes through the motions like a Boston or any other team. Like they're very consistent. But that last game, Jokic only had like what 4 or 5 assists, and they really did a good job at locking up Jamal Murray. So it's one of those things of like it's anyone's game. Like if Miami wins, I'll be happy because Jimmy Butler got his ring. He literally carried this team without really having to carry this team. When you look at this team, it's a team full of the what do you call it? The island of misfit toys. You have Sam. What was it? Gary. What's his name? Vincent, the point guard. Yeah, like he wasn't even drafted. He's now starting in the NBA Finals. He had um the point guard number 16, whose name I'm blanking on. Oh, Caleb Martin. There you go. Starting for an NBA Finals team. They don't even have Tyler Hero. They lost him in the beginning of the playoffs. Right. All right. And then you have Kevin Love and Lowry coming off the bench, and those are former All Stars and former champions. So it's just like, and then Eric Spoelstra, who's a guy who's to me is a very underrated coach, and it seems we're saying underrated because like the guy's been with the Heat since '97, and he was like a video coordinator, and then eventually he became the head coach, and then I mean the story was that when they brought in LeBron and Chris Bosh, and of course they already had Dwayne Wade. The story is that when they were off to kind of a rocky start in that season, that first season, LeBron and Dwayne Wade were trying to get him fired. They went to Pat Riley and were trying to convince Pat Riley to come out of retirement to be their coach, but Pat Riley stuck by Eric Spoelstra, and eventually they won 2 championships together. And LeBron eventually had respect, or he ended up, giving respect to Spoelstra. So, and he's been the coach ever since then. He got him to the finals in 2020. Granted, it was the bubble championship, but he still got him to the finals. And they held their own against the Lakers. So, and now they're back in the finals again as the eighth seed. So, good. I mean, good on the Heat. If they win, that'll be awesome. If the Nuggets win, that'll be awesome. I'm glad for basketball. This is a good basketball series, and not the Golden State Warriors jacking up threes, or any other team jacking up threes. This is how basketball should be played. That's just my opinion. But right. I mean, because it's like, so Joe Numbers on the Soup. He was equating basketball to wrestling, where he said that in wrestling nowadays it's all about flash and flash and substance, and not about quality. And the Young Bucks are kind of the perpetrators of that. The Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and all that. And then he was equating that to the NBA, where when the Golden State Warriors, started being the team they were back in like 2013, that's what basketball pretty much became. It became all about flash, and you know the media just they shit on fucking Jokic because he's not flashy enough, even though the guy averages a triple double in his sleep. Right. Well, no, well, yeah, I mean, everything evolves, everything has to evolve. I guess the point I'm trying to make is that, like, in this era of, it's all about shooting threes, it's all about, doing fancy moves. You see a guy like Jokic who averages a triple double, but he's not the most athletic looking guy. He doesn't really do anything that's, overly crazy, but the guy averages a triple double in his sleep. But yet, right. But he doesn't look the part. Right. Right. Right, but I mean, I guess we'll get back to the show, but like you look at like a guy like Antetokounmpo, the guy is built like a fucking house. Joel Embiid is a beast, and then you see Jokic, and he's just like kind of gangly looking and really out of shape, and doesn't really move that fast, but he kind of has old school mentality to him, like he'll play in the post a lot, which is miss. Yeah, and it's just Jokic does shoot threes, but he doesn't make that his whole game. He'll make the post his game, and he'll do, like, really nice behind the back passes, so which mhm, nope. Alright. So, right before I had to go to the restroom, we got to Gunther and Kevin Owens. Um, great match, obviously. I mean, both guys can work, both guys are grapplers, they're brawlers. They it's funny because like, the match kinda started out a little slow. I think the audience was trying to, like, get used to the match because this wasn't an advertised match. But later on down the line, the crowd was really getting used to the match, and um, of course, there was like interference from Imperium, and Sammy was right there, and there was a at the end of the match, Gunther goes for a roll up against the win, which I didn't like personally. I mean, a guy like Gunther shouldn't win with a roll up. I mean, I don't know if maybe they were trying to protect Kevin Owens and Gunther. I get Gunther, but it's just if anything, this match probably should have ended in a double DQ. I mean, that's just me because I don't. It's just the idea of Gunther winning with a roll up is just silly. Um, so I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing this match again under like better, like better advertised. Right. Yeah, this is definitely a pay per view match. But what did you think about the match? Right. And next, you had Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler defeating the debuting Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. There was a vignette showing Carter and Chance, which I actually like the vignette. It actually, to me, if you're debuting a babyface tag team that you want the audience to be more familiar with, I think that was the right way to do it, in my opinion. Because they came off as really likable. They came off as people that you want to hang out with and be around, and they just seem like likable people, and they actually seem like they're friends in real life. I had no idea Caden Carter played basketball in NCAA. Caden Carter, I knew about her past. I think she actually ran through here in San Antonio, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but you did all that, and you have 'em debut against the tag team champions. So I don't know if that was a smart thing to do, but yeah. Hmm. Mm. All right. I mean that wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, you're right. Chance and Carter are probably they're not just the best women's tag team, they're the best booked tag team because they actually look like a tag team. Every other women's tag team just seemed like they were a makeshift team, whereas these two have been a team for a really long time. And there you can buy them as a team. You can buy them as friends because they're more than likely like really good friends outside of wrestling. So yeah, and Kaden Carter is she's got some cake on her. That's a good looking woman. But good match. Next is you had Ricochet versus Shinsuke Nakamura, and in a no contest after Bronson Reed came out. I thought good match, decent match. They really are back behind the Nakamura train. They're really pushing him as a star again. Um, I don't know, just one little thing bothers me. I don't like Nakamura's get up. Like I don't like that they're making him. I don't know. Maybe he wants to dress like that, or they're having him dress like a figure skater or whatever how that's supposed to be. But whatever. But Nakamura is still going out there, wrestling like it's fucking 2016 all over again. But and then Ricochet's Ricochet. You put him in the ring with somebody that can lead, and he's gonna do great. And he looks like he's having fun. So, but and then Reed comes out, so I'm assuming we're gonna have a program with Nakamura and Reed, which I'd be fine with. I mean, Reed actually got a reaction when he came out and disrupted the match. Next, you had Miz TV with Cody Rhodes. Cody talking about Brock. And then Miz saying, I brought out another generational talent, Dominic Mysterio. Dominic with Rhea, of course, because he can't go anywhere without mommy. He comes out to talk a little bit of shit to Cody, calling him a deadbeat dad, just like his deadbeat dad. And then Cody proceeding just to talk a little bit of shit to Dominic, saying, Ray wasn't perfect. He made some mistakes. I'm looking at it right now. And then said, your prison tattoos are worse than my tattoos. And he talks a little bit. He talks more shit to Dom. Dom walks away, but then Dom ends up slapping Cody, and then and of course he hides behind Rhea because nobody's gonna hit Rhea yet. Um, and then turns around and hits Miz in the face. So I don't know if they're gonna do this as a match next week or maybe wait for this down the line. But what'd you think about the segment? Right. And then what the hell's her name? Brandy put up a tweet saying, Poppy won't hit mommy, but mommy will, or her, of course, referring to her. And then I think Rhea replied to it. Let me pull up her tweet real quick. Okay. Did she share? Is it up here? Did she take it down? I thought she replied to it. Oh, never mind. But yeah, supposedly Rhea replied to it. I literally just can't find the fucking reply, but whatever. But yeah, good segment. I mean, I wouldn't mind a Cody and Dom feud. I mean, this could do wonders for Dom. Um, working with a guy like Cody, who, I mean, I've said Dom being with Judgment Day is the best thing to happen for him, not just because he's getting the massive heel heat anywhere he goes, but it's like he's really improved in the ring. Being around other wrestlers to kind of show him how to work. Put him in the ring with Cody, a guy who can lead. Like it can do wonders for him. Like you have the biggest baby face in the company versus one of the biggest heels in the company. Probably the biggest heel. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to that if that happens. Next, you have Money in the Bank qualifying match. Zoe Stark defeating Natalia. Zoe winning. Um, so Zoe and Becky are in Money in the Bank. So good for them. And lastly, or I guess the last match before the main event, Indashir beat down Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. The match didn't even happen because they just beat the shit out of Cedric Alexander. But what are your thoughts on Indashir? All right. I mean, I wouldn't mind that because they look like a fucking tag team. They're massive and they're intimidating. So all right, so that was Raw. Raw was actually pretty good. It was the best Raw we've seen in a while. So and all right, let me pull up NXT results. Okay. So I watched NXT last week. It was a decent show. Unfortunately I missed it last night because I was at the movies. So I did see what happened. I saw results. So I'm just going by Bleacher Report. So the show I'm pretty sure the show was good. So the show opens with Ilya Dragunov standing up to Baron Corbin. Says here Baron Corbin marched on the ring and decried the way NXT roster had grown lazy and arrogant. And Ilya Dragunov interrupted to challenge him to determine the true number one contender to the NXT Championship. What did you think about this segment and what exactly happened? Mm. Ooh. Uh, right. Ooh. Why is Braun still in NXT? That's weird. I mean, he's kind of done. I mean, I, right. I mean, because I saw that, and we can just jump ahead. Like, Braun Breaker challenged Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship next Tuesday on NXT. So, I mean, again, a must-watch show on NXT. I mean, it's more than likely going to be a good match. Um, a program possibly with Braun and Ilya. I'd fucking love it. I mean, we just had that banger of a match with Ilya and what's his name? Um, I was gonna call him Striker. That's that's not his fucking name. Dijak. There you go. That was a fucking awesome match, and a fucking match with Ilya and Braun. I want that. I want that because Ilya is gonna bump around like a fucking madman and sell anything that Braun throws at him, literally. So I wouldn't mind that, but yeah, I mean, I guess we're coming close to SummerSlam. More than likely, Braun's either going to debut at SummerSlam or after SummerSlam. So they don't just want to like have his ass sit at home for like 2 months. They actually want to give him something to do. So why not? Uh, so next, yeah, Diamond Mind versus Schism in a mixed tag team match. Schism won by pinfall. Ava Rain got her first pin as a wrestler. So, what'd you think about the match? All right. Next, you had Blair Davenport re-debuting in NXT. I guess you want to say it like that. Eee. All right. But yeah, Blair Davenport re-debuting in NXT versus Danny Palmer. Blair got the win. What'd you think? She's really good. Yeah, she is really good. She has a unique look and she can fucking work. And maybe being with old Will taught her some things. So um, yeah, and we need more women like that. Speaking of women that aren't seasoned, Dana Brooke rolling up to the NXT parking lot saying she's going to be in the Battle Royal. She's a free agent, I guess. Yay. Um, Seeing Tiffany Stratton cuts a promo about how everyone in the Battle Royal is envious of what she has, and nobody was happy for her. Lyra Valkyria is the only one she can imagine winning tonight. Yada, yada, yada. Next, you had Baron Corbin versus Trick Williams. I did see that clip of the match. Baron still coming out to his happy Corbin music and wearing basketball shorts, which is weird. But Corbin wins with End of Days. What'd you think? Yeah, he loses his appeal, like you just said. Eventually, you're gonna want to train him and just keep him in that role for as long as possible until they feel comfortable with putting him as a singles guy, or he feels comfortable with that. Maybe he's more comfortable with just being the bodyguard, which there's no shame in that. Um, let's see. Looking on here, Mustafa Ali was interviewed backstage. He's a free agent. He's here with a pen in his hand, ready to write the new chapter where he finally becomes a champion. So I guess Ali's gonna officially be in NXT. What do you think about that? All right. I get you. I get you. But I like the idea of Ali being in NXT. I'm just gonna say that he seems like he's happy to be there, and maybe he wants to be there to help the younger wrestlers out. So yeah, I mean you're not wrong. All right then. Next, you had Mustafa Ali versus Joe Gacy. Mustafa wins. I imagine that was a pretty decent match, but what'd you think? All right. Next, you had Eddie Thorpe versus Damon Kemp. So, oh, yeah, Eddie. Oh, I'm sorry. Eddie Thorpe versus Damon Kemp. Eddie Thorpe won. What'd you think? Next, you had Dabakato versus Scripps. Scripps won with a schoolboy. Thoughts? All right. And then a backstage segment, Joe Gacy is screaming upset about Mustafa Ali, and the Dyad talk him down by reminding him of their own victory. And Ava says one can't root. What, I don't know what the fuck this is. Says one root can't support a whole tree, and Reed says next week they'll have his back. And then the women's battle royal was starting, I believe. Let's see. Tyler Bay, Mustafa Ali, and Wesley are chatting backstage about the six-man tag they have next week. Ali says there's some kind of magic between Bate and Lee and says everybody wants to see them go one-on-one for the North American title. Tyler doesn't want to damage their friendship, but Wes says coming to him face to face like this, he's fine. And and Mustafa has a Money in the Bank qualifier, which is weird. But again, I don't want to get you started on the whole brand split thing again, so I'm just gonna leave that alone. I don't want to get you started. I don't want to get you started, so I'm gonna head over to the next segment. All right. NXT Women's Championship number one contender battle royal. I know Thea Hale won, which oh no, I like her. I like her. I mean, she's super young. But Why give it to her though? I'm just curious. Right. Mhm. Mhm. Mm-mm. Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it works. So that's all the shows to review. So we're gonna jump into news. The big news of today is the unfortunate passing of the Iron Sheik. He passed away today at the age of 81. In a statement posted to the Iron Sheik's official Twitter account on June 7th, it was announced that Hossein Khosrow Ali Vasiri, better known to the world as Iron Sheik, has passed away peacefully. What? Hossein Khosrow Ali Vasiri. Nope. That is not his name. I don't know, but that's like the most Persian name I've ever seen in my life, and I should know because I'm a Persian, but or half Persian. But no, Khosrow. The K is silent. There you go. I think that's actually Davari's like legit like Persian name. It's Khosrow Davari, but he calls himself Sean Davari. So I don't know. Anyways, statement read: Together today we gather with heavy hearts to bid farewell to a true legend, a force of nature, and an iconic figure who left an incredible mark on the world of professional wrestling. It is with great sadness that we share the news of the passing of the Iron Sheik, but we also take solace in knowing that he departed this world peacefully, leaving behind a legacy that will endure for generations to come. Vasidi leaves behind his wife Carol of 47 years, Jesus Christ, his children Tanya, Nikki, and his son in law Eddie, as well as five grandchildren and two nephews. He was predeceased by his daughter Marissa. Um, Iron Sheik got his start in the 70s before making it to the WWF in 79. Left in 80, came back in 83, dethroned Bob Backlund. Captured his one and only WWF championship before losing it to Hogan, which kickstarted WrestleMania, or not WrestleMania, Hulkamania. And then won the tag team championships with Nikolai Volkov at the very first Mania in Madison Square Garden. He also competed at WrestleMania 2 and 3 before winning a gimmick battle royal at WrestleMania 17. Was inducted into the Hall of Fame in '05. His last match took place on the independent scene in '07. So yeah, so he stopped wrestling. He stopped wrestling a while ago. So R.I.P. to the Iron Sheik, the Sheiky baby, the Sheiky baby. I break his back. I make him humble, Bubba. Love him, love him. You- And his last tweet that he put up was 2 days ago, and it was literally just him saying "fuck Hulk Hogan." Actually, while we were talking, I pulled up the Iron Tweet's best tweets, or not the Iron Sheik's best tweets. He put, "If you still sleeping, you are a dumb piece of shit. You get Iron Sheik alarm clock on the iTunes, or go fuck yourself." that was all. That was always his catchphrase. He would just say, "Go fuck yourself." I wake up, I beat the fuck out of my clock. Don't tell me what fucking time it is. Fuck the clock. Oh man, he was so awesome. What else did he put? Monday, you dumb son of a bitch, go fuck yourself. Fuck the Monday forever. Fuck the Wednesday or the Thursday, whichever day today is. Fuck it. Oh man. Fuck the beer. Yeah, I did see I saw a clip of that because The Rock actually made a nice little message for Iron Sheik, called him Uncle Sheik. So good on The Rock. Um, should I keep reading these tweets or should I move on to the next segment? He said, "Fuck the beer if it no cold. Somebody grab me a cold beer." Hashtag Memorial Day. Oh man, who deserved to get the beer bottle put up their ass till glass break? Make them shit ass blood. Tell me or go fuck yourself. Good night at Justin Bieber. Fuck you times 1,000,000. Justin Bieber, nice young man. He best singer. April Fool Day. Justin Bieber have squirrel dick and fuck his own ass till he shit his mother out. Justin Bieber, go fuck yourself. So he didn't like Iron Sheik. Or no, he didn't like Justin Bieber. I'm sorry. Oh man. He apparently didn't like Miley Cyrus either. He put Miley Cyrus win hashtag Golden Globes for whore. Miley Cyrus win Emmy Awards. You are a most embarrassing dumb bitch. I'm gonna break your neck and suplex you forever. Jabroni. Good night, Miley Cyrus. Please go fuck yourself. Oh man. Next is Hogan. Happy birthday, Hogan. My gift to you that I didn't break your fucking leg, jabroni. So I guess he really didn't like Hogan, or maybe, like you said, he's just working kayfabe. Um, Animosity toward Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior, only man to make baby from his ass. His baby name is Ultimate Warrior, idiot ass baby. Ugh. Is there more? Is there more? Is there more? I don't think there's more. Oh wait, Ultimate Warrior, I love you forever. Okay, I guess he reconciled. Okay, there's too many. We got to move on. This was fun, but um, I remember he said something randomly about Tim Duncan, but it was nice. He was watching the finals where he was like, "Tim Duncan, Iron Sheik class, Bubba." So nice. Uh, so Booker T had some interesting words about Lacey Evans. He said, "One thing I can always say about my female wrestlers, I always tell them never lose your femininity, never lose your sex appeal. Men, they come to see you wrestle, but more importantly, they come to see you. And Lacey Evans playing a military character is taken away from a lot of assets that she has that she could always use." Um, he also said, "I just don't think where the world is right now, we're going to need a savior like Sergeant Slaughter coming in to save America. We need to see characters that get over, the Rhea Ripleys, the Charlotte Flairs, the Bianca Belairs, just real people. They're just coming out and making you feel a certain way when you see them walk out of that curtain." Um, so I talked about that that first quote about, sex appeal, where I just said jokingly, Booker T's quote, "Tell me he just didn't say that," which I was just saying to be a joke. Like, I know what he means, and he's right, because you look at Rhea. Rhea's whole thing is she's mommy, and she's selling sex, but she's still not losing sight of who she is as a wrestler and who her character is. Like, she knows what she's doing when she pins people the way she does. She knows guys out there have that sick fantasy of being dominated by her, and maybe girls too. So, and then, I mean, Charlotte doesn't really sell sex, but I think Charlotte gets it. Bianca doesn't really sell sex, but she likes to wear shorter shorts now, so she gets it. Um, Liv Morgan likes to sell sex every now and then, but whatever. But yeah, Lace, I think he's right about Lacey, and I mean, I can imagine people are going to want to come after him for that, but this is my first time actually reading more of that quote instead of just the quote I saw. Which, yeah, they need more characters, and it's like with Lacey, it's just like they've given her so many characters, and like we just mentioned earlier in the show, the Southern Belle gimmick, regardless of what you thought about it, at least got her over. She main evented a show, and she was wearing revealing clothing, while she was doing that gimmick, and then she started doing, the tough, badass military gimmick, and it's one of those things where it should have landed, but it didn't because I remember when they started doing it, they literally just put a camera on her and made her talk about her dad killing her, her dad killing himself, and it just felt really awkward and out of place. And just I don't know, the whole badass military gimmick. It should have worked a lot better than it did, but it just hasn't. But what are your overall thoughts on Booker's comments? What's the little bit that you disagree on? Hmm. Well, also, penis makes her want to throw up, but that's another story. It, it depends on the woman, but yeah, definitely. Hmm. All right. What else should I pick? Uh, SummerSlam has sold nearly 97% capacity, over half available tickets resale. Set for August the 5th on at Detroit's Ford Field. We'll be there. We'll be here before you know it. Based on WWE's current setup, nearly 97%. I just mentioned. Current setup is 44,604. They've already sold 40,231 tickets. They have 4,373 tickets left, and they have 2,893 resale left. So pretty good. I mean, it's looking to be a big show. I mean, it's the biggest show of the summer for a reason. But I mean, the matches that we have on file. I mean, not on file, but on the docket. I mean, whatever match Cody and Brock ends up being. I mean, hopefully is the match that we think it is, but I doubt WWE is going to let it happen. Um, you might even have Roman and Solo versus the Usos. You'll have other big matches. So, matter of fact, we don't even know what matches are going to happen at SummerSlam, and that's crazy to think about. That this show's almost sold out, and there hasn't even been a match announced. So it's pretty nuts to think about. But Um, Speaking of big shows, so Vic Joseph, current NXT announcer, was on what podcast was he on? I think it was Chris Van Fleet, if I'm not mistaken. He wants his goal in life is to call the main event of WrestleMania. He says because we talk about the talent that's in the ring, there's only one main event of each night of Mania. There's only so many main events that have happened at Mania. There's been countless matches, but there's only been one or two main events. I want to call a main event a Mania. I've called matches at Mania. I've called championship matches at WrestleMania, but I've never called the main event. Uh, I like Vic Joseph. I mean, I think he's a pretty good announcer. I wouldn't call him my favorite announcer, but he does a good job because he at least sounds engaged. He's he sounds more like a I would say like a game show announcer more than a wrestling announcer. Champion, like he definitely has that kind of friendly, warming voice. Um, I mean, he seems like a good dude. So I mean, I don't know. What do you think? But what do you think about Vic Joseph overall? Do you see him? Yeah, WWE likes their robots, but again, like Vic Joseph, so that'd be nice. It'd be good for him. I'd be happy for him if he got to main event. If he got to call a main event of WrestleMania. Other news: Drew McIntyre becomes a American citizen. The website reported this week that the former two-time WWE champion became a naturalized American citizen in recent weeks since he's been off television. There's been a lot going on in McIntyre's life outside of the squared circle, from becoming a U.S. citizen to the tragic passing of his sister-in-law Ashley last month. While those two major life events may be related to the five-time world championships champion, recent absence from WWE, it hasn't stopped speculation online about McIntyre's future with the company and pro wrestling in general. Um, According to Mike Johnson, there's still no update to McIntyre's status. He has yet to come to an agreement with WWE on a contract extension. McIntyre's contract reportedly retires in early 2024. Um, I mean, we're already in June. That's about to be what 7 months away, whenever that does happen. But overall, I mean, I don't know. Maybe we did talk about this on a earlier show, but like, what do you see happening with McIntyre? Right. So if like say he doesn't stay with WWE, do you see him going to like New Japan or maybe like an Impact just to maybe spice things up? Because I can't see him going to AEW because that's just they don't know how to book big guys. But right, yeah, definitely. Last bit of news that I have on the docket: Jeff Jarrett, your boy, files trademark for the term "heat." Jared is evidently consumed with the concept of heat that he's now looking to own the trademark for it. With the help of gimmick attorney Michael Dawkins, Double J filed to trademark heat this past Thursday. The filing further reveals Jeff is seeking to trademark the term for uses such as entertainment in the nature of wrestling contests, wrestling exhibits, performances by a wrestler, live and personal appearances, television appearances, pro wrestling news, and providing online interviews featuring wrestlers. As of this writing, Jeff Jarrett hasn't publicly commented on his trademark attempt and whether he plans to incorporate heat into his current AEW character or use it outside the company. In addition to his AEW duties, Jarrett has continued his My World podcast with Conrad. Uh, any thoughts on that at all? No thoughts, baby. All right. Well, that's all the news from me. What do you got? Oh, good for them. Yeah, same. Congrats to the happy couple. Seem like a nice couple, and yeah, exactly. Happy, happy marriage for these two. All right, and then you had that Dave's star rating. All right. Mm-hmm. Hmm. I mean, it was a pretty good match. Probably 4 stars if I had to guess. Wow. All right. I would have given it 4 stars. It was a good match. I mean, Wesley is really freaking good. So, I mean, any match he has is usually the best match. So, I would have given it 4, at least. But 3.5, I guess, sounds fair. It's fair. Um, I wasn't too nuts about the match personally. I guess 4. I guess 3.5 or I'm gonna go with 4 because that seems like something like Meltzer would like. Je- Jesus. Um, probably. I think Meltzer's is probably fair enough. Not that I thought that the match was bad. I didn't think either guy was bad. I thought the match was just too much. Like the rules just weren't clear enough for me. So I would say maybe like a 3.5. Hmm. Now, if you ask me what I would give this match, this was a match of the year candidate. This is a fucking 5 star match. I mean, Ilya's fucking great. Dijak is a great big man that could work with any small guy, and this was awesome. This should have been a 5 star match, but I'm pointing to you. You can't. Well, that's what I was kind of segueing doing was you saying the rating, but um, I was trying to be clever. Um, it's Dave, so I guess like 4, 4.5. Mhm. Um, I mean, not crazy about this. I'm not really crazy about Gallus. No, just they don't seem to work for me, and it doesn't seem like they're working for the crowd either. So I would say I gave it a 3. I would guess they would gave it maybe like a 3.5, 3/4. Mhm. Ooh. Well, this doesn't have Britt Baker or any Japanese woman in it, so can't imagine he loved it. I thought it was an okay match. I just thought it was too long. I would probably give it like a maybe a 3, 3.5. Dave probably gave this maybe roughly around the same rating, like a 3, 3.5. All right. Thought it was an okay match. Wasn't anything crazy or perfect. It did its job. Um, if it was me, I'd give it like maybe like a 3.5, 3.7, or like 3.75. I can imagine Dave might have given this like a 3.5, 3.75. Wow. Wow. Okay. I mean, yeah, a lot of his are kind of. I mean, we were kind of close. I mean, I think I was kind of close on his predictions. I mean, I'm a little bit baffled that, like, just give fucking Dijak a 5-star match. Like, come on. If this were Gunther, you give him a 5-star match. And I'm not shitting on Gunther. I'm just saying, like, you put Gunther in this match, you would have gave it 5 stars. And oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Again, I know it sounds like I'm shitting on Gunther, and I think I was trying to make a point, and now it just sounds like I made a better match. But I made a match that was already great into an even greater match. So what do I know? Anyways, forget what I said. Move on. 4 stars because I would have probably given it 4 stars. Okay. It was a good match. It wasn't like what wasn't great. Um, it probably could have gone on for maybe a little longer, but I don't know. I digress. It's weird because like everybody kind of had the same opinion about this match. The build up sucked, but the match was actually really good. Um, I probably anywhere between like maybe 3.75 and 4. Wow. All right. Well, it's Gunther, so it has to be at least in the fours, or at least like the highest is 5, so it has to be in the fours at least. So I would say anywhere between 4 and 4.5. Wow. It was still it was still a good match. Like, come on. Uh, anywhere between maybe 3.5. I would say 3.5. All right. Probably right around there. I mean, I thought the match was better than the Mania match. Had a better ending. The ending made sense. I didn't wasn't crazy about the match. Wasn't crazy about the feud either. But yeah, it was an okay match. Um, well, it's Cody, so it has to be at least like maybe 3.5 or anywhere between 4. So I would I mean I like this better than the Backlash match. So I would give it a 4. Dave, I would imagine it's anywhere between 3.5 and 4. Oh, okay. So I was close. Hmm. Um, overall, I like the match. I thought the moment, which we've talked about this a lot with Sami Zayn, the moment I think meant a lot more than the actual match itself. Not that the match was bad, so I would probably give the match like anywhere between like a 4, maybe like 4 quarters. Um, Dave, I would say maybe the roughly around the same. Oh wow, okay. No, I get you. I'm a little perplexed that he didn't give Gunther's match a higher rating. God damn it! Why did they have to show Ray Allen hitting that 3 in Game 6? Fuck him. Um, I'm a little surprised at that. Um, I mean, the other matches I think were, yeah, I guess they're fair ratings. Oh, I thought you had the double or nothing once. Why are you mad at AEW? All right, guys, that was the show. Um, Been about 2 hours and 7 minutes. So pretty fun show. Lots of interesting news topics to talk about. Uh, this Saturday, yeah, I got the finals on right now. They're about to win game 3 and gonna go up 2-1. So Good on Denver. And I guess since we're talking about basketball, Chris Paul is getting released by the Suns. He will be a free agent this summer. Where do you see him getting signed? Why Detroit? Yeah, that'd be interesting. I don't see him and LeBron meshing well together, though. Yeah, so was him and Melo, and that didn't work out. And Chris Paul's also about to be 40, so again, I don't see it working. Apparently, Kyrie wants LeBron to come to Dallas, and Udonis Haslem is the oldest NBA player to play in the NBA Finals at 42 years old. You are? Oh, wow. That's pretty impressive. But, well, I'm back, baby. I'll hit it from the back, baby. I'll hit it from the front, baby. Oh man, it's too sweet, baby. And I know I just said I was about to end like twice. Dark Side of the Ring newest episode came out yesterday. Magnum TA. Pretty good episode. Um, this one doesn't really end on a downer. I mean, Magnum TA, as a lot of people know, was on his way to becoming a huge star over in was it Crockett Wrestling? NWA. I'm sorry, yeah, Crockett, and unfortunately had a car accident that cost him his career, but didn't let him down. He's still living his life. Got remarried, had kids, and he's. I think they say he started like his own business. They didn't really mention what it was, but he seems like he's doing pretty well. He seems happy. So I mean, it's nice seeing an episode of Dark Side of the Ring where it's not a complete downer. Because the Chris Candido one, I mean, that was obviously a downer for multiple reasons, and like every other episode of Dark Side of the Ring. But like, oh, this one was refreshing because like the guy's still alive. He's living his life. He's happy. So good on Magnum TA. Next episode is going to be by Adrian Adonis. Uh, don't know much about him. So, obviously. Mhm. Didn't he make like I think he made like a music video. Didn't he call like a music video called "I Love Me" or something? After that is Doink the Clown, Junkyard Dog, Marty Jannetty. That's gonna be wild. I bet. Bam Bam Bigelow, Abdullah, Bash at the Beach 2000. Uh, you will never see that piece of shit on this program ever again. Love it. The Graham family. So, who is it? Mike Graham and who's the other Graham brother? All right. Originally, there was supposed to be a Mike Awesome episode, but his family pulled out at the last minute. Oh God. Well, no, because I think his wife is still, or his widow wife, what do you want to call her? She's still alive, but I guess, she got cold feet. Which, I mean, I don't blame her. I mean, who wants to relive a lot of that trauma? Um, and then I guess his family did the same thing too. So who knows? They might save it for next year. Who knows? But um, overall, did you get a chance to watch the Candido episode? Yeah, it's pretty good. My only thing is I wish it was at least like 2 episodes, kind of like how they've been doing with like the past seasons, where like the Benoit one was 2 episodes, the Pillman one was 2 episodes, like because like like the first part is about Chris mainly, and then it's just like they just kind of like skim over Sunny, where it's like, oh, and she got arrested. I would have figured like a two-parter mainly about Sunny and seeing how she's doing. Um, would have been the way to go. Probably. I mean, because they did mention towards the end of the episode that they reached out to Sunny, but her legal counsel advised her not to do it, which I guess makes sense because she's currently. I don't know if she's in jail currently or she's on trial, but she killed a guy after crashing into him after she didn't have a fucking license. So I don't know. Maybe that was the original idea. Is they wanted to do a two-parter, but they couldn't get Sunny. So it would have been weird just having a like 45 minutes of people saying, "Yeah, Sunny's a bitch," but Um, yeah, that's really about it. That's the whole season for Dark Side of the Ring. But other than that, we're good for tonight. This Saturday is going to be the Q&A show, the first Q&A show of the month. So if you haven't already, get your questions in. Even if you want to put in some more questions, you can do that as well. And next Wednesday is episode 300. So it's going to be a pretty packed show. I'm trying to bring in some people on, even if it's just to come in and talk for a little bit. But yeah, next episode is 300. Same time, same channel. So be there. Be there, be square, people. But anyways, guys, we're done for the night, and we'll see you this Saturday. Peace out. All right. All right. I smell dinner, so I'm gonna get some dinner. Hey, whatever you need to do. I heard it helps. All right. Take care, brother, and take some ibuprofen. All right. Peace out.